Turkle published a best-selling compilation of interviews with a cross-section of Americans talking about their jobs. Turkle described it as the extraordinary dreams of ordinary people. These are their words. I hear America singing. I hear carols like America singing. America singing. Singing, singing.
Listen, singing.
Nature singing. America singing. The measure singing.
The fireman singing.
Each one singing.
The trumpet
We'll build a house like I hear America singing. America
Hey, somebody, don't you wanna hear the story of my life? One of them movie companies, TV documentaries. Won't you come and ask me, please? And pay me $1 million. Tell me what I do at the store. If you pay me $1 million, I wouldn't have to go and do it no more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
just like the song sing, all the live long day. Everybody don't know that song. Working for a living the whole day long, all the live long day. Hey somebody, won't you turn your head? Take a look my way. Getting old and I tell you,
Getting old ain't nothing new.
but again, you know.
Here I look out
One day, rain or shine, one day, and another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. Another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. Another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. And it's 1, 2, 3, get going. Just like the song sing, all the live long day. Everybody don't know that song. People are living the whole day long, all the live long. Just like the song sing, all the live long day. Everybody don't know that song. Working for a living the whole day long, all the live long day.
I'm a dying breed, a labor. Strictly muscle. You pick it up, you put it down. You pick it up, you put it down. You pick it up, you put it down. I started working structural steel when I was 18 years old. And I've worked on buildings probably 1,000 feet tall. And most people are afraid of heights like that, so automatically every iron worker you meet has an ego. You get to do something somebody else doesn't want to do. And when you're a kid, 18 years old, and you're wearing a tool belt with wrenches in it like a hoister, you feel like a cowboy. But I always knew I was going to be an iron worker. You see, my dad was an iron worker, my brothers were iron workers, so it was a natural course of events. My dad was really disappointed in me when I didn't go to college. We had a college boy working for us this summer, and one time he saw a book in my back pocket, and he looked at me and he says, "You read?" I mean, that's what gets to you, you know, the non-recognition by other people. To say that a man is just a laborer, a woman is just a housewife or a waitress, I mean, that gets to you sometimes. You know, some days I just look at a building I once helped build. Let's say That building right there. You see that building? I helped build it. And I know some guy is sitting there in his corner office behind his $5,000 desk, and he's never ever gonna think about me. But yeah, I think about him sometimes. Amanda, where's my P&L report?
It's on your desk.
Why is it not in my hands?
I am a project manager. I start at 7:30 in the morning and I finish work at 8 p.m. In between my meetings, I check emails and messages, and also I try to avoid my boss. I mean, you always have a boss. Sometimes you have a okay boss, but sometimes you have a saint boss. It's not behind me, see? I wish these walls were a little higher. I've been in all different kinds of cubicles. I've worked at high-walled cubes and half-height cubes, but listen, the way things are these days, I just feel lucky to be in any kind of cubicles. I have friends who would kill for this job, or any job.
I paper the walls of my cubicle with posters. I bring in fresh flowers, brought in my favorite ceramic lamp. This little collection of things on top of my computer, I call them computer gods. I guess I have more decorations than I thought. But you know, in a cubicle, things like glow-in-the-dark skeletons go a long way.
Sharing a cubicle is sort of like sharing a bathroom stall. No matter how tall the sides are, or how big it is, you're still in there as someone else. Not in a sexy way.
I can see the programmer in the cubicle next to me through a reflection in the window. Sometimes I can see her and see what she's doing. Most of the time, she's emailing jokes to her sister.
I grew up expecting I would get out of college and make $1 million. I grew up expecting someone was just going to deliver a Mercedes to my front door. It's been quite a rude awakening. This is the first time in 4 generations I have it worse than my parents.
Jobs are not big enough for people. When you ask most people who they are, they define themselves by their job titles. Like, I'm a doctor, I'm a carpenter, I'm a sportscaster. But when someone asks me who I am, I'd say, I'm Amanda McKenney, and at certain points in life, I do things for a living. My mentality is completely different from those who are 20 years older, the lifers. I don't have the sense of loyalty. I know they have a business to run, and they're going to lay me off if it's prudent. I accept that. People in our age think we don't have a job for life, but rather we'd say, okay, I'm going to make the best out of this company, and I'm going to move on for better money. This is just the first job of many.
Order up!
This is my first job. I smell like a burger. The register is easy. Hey, you want a burger? I hit the picture of the burger.
enjoy work. I enjoy being a leader. I enjoy being the guy that everybody looks to. I like the responsibility of having a team of people working for me. In our world, management is the sexiest job there is. Ask any girl at East Bank Club. Money is hot. True story, they did a study and found that just by looking at a Maserati, make girls produce twice as many hormones as normal. Oh yeah, somebody wants to call me a shallow douchebag, a corporate two, a freaking rubber baron. I take that as a compliment. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's what this country is about, the free market. It's not perfect, but if you leave it alone, it sure as hell will correct itself better than any regulator can. Yeah, some companies will go away, some people lose jobs, and some people lose money. But that's just basic capitalism. Hang on a second, I gotta take this. Yeah, okay. Give me 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Look, I'm gonna have to cut this short. I need to get back on the phone before the market closes overseas. Everybody works long hours these days. Kid wants to make it big, he's got to be willing to work long hours. And he's got to know how to outsmart the regulators to make profit. It's easy. Christ, if you can't outsmart one little government stuff, you shouldn't even come to work in the morning. I should be their teacher. You know, I always wanted to teach. That's what I do when I get tired of all these. Get involved with young people. Pass along my knowledge, my experience, my values.
But you force yourself to say, "Good morning, Manuel. How are you doing?"
Hi, Mrs. Hoffman.
My name is Miss Hoffman. I teach 3rd grade. At 9:15, we start with arithmetic. I have tables fun on the board. Multiplication. You don't say tables, you say tables fun. Everything has to be fun, fun, fun. I tell my kids, Miss Hoffman's here, everybody works. Working is a blessing. In the old days, I used to have 18 to 20 children who stayed with me from the beginning bell all the way to the end. Today, I have 37 in my class. Children come in, play with their cell phones, and then they leave for computer class. Art therapy. Oh yes, I've seen great changes since I began teaching in 1975. My classroom was always a showcase. In those days we did it ourselves, with colorful pictures and charts on the wall, a snowman in winter, pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies were in neat little piles on the shelves. My children were always respectful. When the principal came, they would rise. If I had to leave them a minute or two, they'd always find something constructive to do, and all of them sat in their places according to size. But kids don't know how to behave anymore. Say quiet down, and they'll ask you what for. A simple request sparks a nuclear war, or insults on Instagram now. They want me to teach in a classroom like that, but nobody tells me how. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I got through. They copied the words till they knew them by heart. 10 times for the dumb ones and twice for the smart. And gold stars were given to those who made sentences true. But who needs to spell when you're texting all day? Spell check is OMG awesome, they say. An iPad to add and subtract. track because hey, a pencil's for dinosaurs now. The way I've been teaching for 40-some years is no longer effective, or so it appears. Well, damn it, it worked for me then, so what's wrong with it now? They say I'm supposed to keep up with the times, but nobody ever tells me how. There is one girl who stands out in my mind in all my years of teaching. My favorite. She wasn't very bright, but she never caused any trouble. I still see her every now and then. Today, she never causes any trouble, and she has the same smile for everyone.
The first few months I started flying, I had already been to London, Paris, and New York, which is a pretty big deal when you're from Kankakee, Illinois. But once you start working for the airlines, you realize it's actually not as glamorous as you thought it was going to be. Sometimes people just get nasty. I mean, they're harassed by security and then they're handed over to us, and your shining personality only goes so far. One time I was working first class, and the captain tells me that we're going to have to make an emergency landing in Chicago because we've lost a pin out of the nose gear. When we land, the nose gear is going to collapse. So he wants me to prepare the entire cabin for landing, but not for another 2 hours. And not to tell any of the other flight attendants because they're new and would get all excited. So I had to keep this in me for 2 hours. And I'm thinking, am I going to die today? And I'm serving drinks and food. And this guy gets mad at me because his omelet's too cold. I wanted to say to him, you just wait, buddy. You're not going to have to worry about that fucking omelet! When my parents found out I was going into the airlines, they got so excited. I mean, my mom especially thought it would be great that I would have the nerve, the ambition to go out into the city and make something of myself. Really, I just wanted to get out of Kankakee.
There's no comparison, not even to the jet plane, to climbing on a steel truck and going out there in the Darien Expressway. The minute you step in the truck, you forget about the wife and kids who just kiss goodbye. And the adrenaline starts pumping. Bring it up and now, baby, buddy, put your ears on for me now. Big truck, I gotta have a big life. So come on, brother trucker, you gotta come back, mother. I got to roll, 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 brother trucker, show the shame of the shape I'm in. Roll, 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 brother trucker, I'm back in my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker, outward bound from somewhere. Roll, 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 brother trucker, I'm back in my wheels again. I'm running out of wax, and all that dim those headlights. So I'm sleeping in the last few nights. But I'm gonna be alright. I got to roll, 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 brother trucker. I see where and you say where. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back in my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Backing it up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back in my wheels again. Gone for a week, 2 weeks, taking a look at one board and delivering it to another. You sit in the truck and you're waiting for me and boat seems to go. Cause the air, the well, and the sea are old, you still don't know. And the only man telling me where to go is the man who owns the law. And he says, roll, 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 brother trucker. I see where, and you say where. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back in my wheels again. I say, roll, 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 brother trucker. Back it on up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back in my wheels again. Brother, back in my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back it on up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back in my wheels again. Brother trucker. Back in my wheels again. Coming home to a wife can be solved with that now. She has to raise the kids. She has to fight with bill collectors. She can't even count on her husband to be at a graduation or a ceremony. When you do go home, you're so tired, you'd rather be sleeping than going on a Saturday night. I take 2 round trips to Evansville, pass 4 blocks within my house, but never go home. Easier to just keep on going. So you pick up the phone and you call your wife. Hey honey, hello. Halfway phone company.
Verizon Export, this is Johnny. How may I help you?
Yeah, this number isn't working and I have like 5 bars.
Sorry you're having trouble, sir. I had a number you're calling.
Yeah, 219-765-5910.
Sorry, sir. All is busy. You are busy.
What? Jesus, I can't understand anything you're saying.
I'm sorry, sir. Why don't you 5 minutes and
fuck
drive? Placing your call again. You think it'd be grateful to get a live person instead of a computer? Sometimes you really want to talk to them. If they sound upset, for me it's a temptation to say, gee, what's the matter? But you can't say more than, I'm sorry you're having trouble, sir. If you get caught talking to a customer, that's 1 mark against you. 3 marks in your... One woman said to me, operator, I'm lonesome. Will you talk to me? I said, gee, I'm sorry. I just can't. But you can't. I'm a communications person and I can't communicate.
So, I always thought of a receptionist as the loser at the front desk taking phone messages. Now I'm one. So of course I had to change my mind. She had to be special, right? Because I'm so special. I was fine with it until we had this office party. I'd be having a fairly intelligent conversation with someone when they'd ask me what I did. When I said, I'm a receptionist, they'd make an excuse and walk away. So, now I make up other names for what I do. Communications control. Entry management.
It's strange.
I'm just so tired at the end of the day.
Tired of talking. My mom gets tired because you're talking constantly for 6 hours straight without a 10-minute break. You can't think about it.
What I do all day is say what I have to say as quickly as possible and then transfer the call to wherever it's going to. I notice people
the
about
size
to
of
slow down when
gymnasium,
I'm talking.
surrounded by people talking to people thousands of miles away.
I never answer the phone. I never listen in on phone conversations.
Why listen in on conversations?
But let me tell you, some people really do. You see, I would pay attention to all the girls who still listen on phone
The line is
conversations.
so absurd.
Listen, I don't care who you are, as long as you're working late and you might fill listening on phone conversations.
Makes the night go faster.
Sometimes, to make the day go faster, I draw things. Monitoring sort of things, never people. I pretend that I was alone and things were real quiet. I call it the land of no phones. I never answered the phone at home.
Hello? Oh, no thank you. My husband gets the paper at the office and I read it online. No, I don't have I guess in my Mother's Day they would have called me a housewife. That's funny. It's not like I sit around watching soap operas all day. I have a lot of work to do. It's just, you just want something more exciting to talk about at a dinner party. You know, something that matters. What I do only matters to 3 people. All I am is just a housewife. Nothing special, nothing great. What I do is kind of boring. If you'd rather, it can wait. All I am is someone's mother. All I am is someone's wife. All of which seems unimportant. All it is just my life. Do the laundry, wash the dishes, take the dog out, clean the house, shop for groceries, look for specials. God, it sounds so Mickey Mouse. Drop the kids off, pick the shirts up, try to lose weight, try again. Keep the troops fed, pick their things up, lose your patience, count to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I am is just a housewife, nothing great. What I do is out of fashion, what I feel is out of date. All I am is someone's mother. Right away I'm not too bright. What I do is unfulfilling, so the TV talk shows tell me every night. I don't mean to complain at all when they make you feel like you're 2 feet tall, when you're just a wife, just a housewife. All they see are the pots and pans and the Pepsi cans of a person's life. You're okay if you go to work, but you're just a jerk if you say you won't. Just a housewife. People say that they think it's fine if the choice is mine, but you know they don't. What I do, I choose to do. Maybe dumb to you, but it's not to me. Is it dumb that they need me there? Is it dumb to care? 'Cause I do, you see. And I mean, did you ever think, really stop to think what a job it was? Doing all the things that a housewife does. I'm afraid it's unimpressive. All I am is someone's wife, nothing special. What I do is unexciting, kinda dull. Take the kids there. Mommy, I don't mean to complain. I'm busy every day, like my mother. Just a housewife.
UBS!
You don't just jump up behind someone and scream.
Sorry.
It's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Sorry, man. You gotta make some excitement for yourself. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? People who want to really buy a global market. That's the biggest part of a dog's day, when the UPS man comes. So when nobody's looking, you kick him down the street. Even if he follows you, you try to get him for the one a couple of houses back. Yeah, that's the big subject conversation with us. Dogs and women. You got a code we put in the system. We put a Q that stands for cutie. If you see a nice little honey laying out there in a 2-piece bathing suit, she'll probably be there laying with a top strap under. you scare her good enough, she'll jump up. And that's excitement to the day. It gives you something to do. UPS!
I didn't want to become a housewife like my mother and sisters. Somehow I knew I wanted more out of life. I was 15. I was sitting in a coffee shop when a friend came by and said, "Yo, hurry up, I got a cab waiting. You can make $500 in 20 minutes." We went up to this penthouse. The guy up there was quite well known. He wanted to watch two women do it, and then he wanted to have sex with me. It was barely sex. He was almost finished by the time we started. It was a tremendous kick. I mean, there I was, doing nothing, feeling nothing. And in 20 minutes, I was going to walk out of there with $500 in my pocket. Just out of curiosity, how many people you know make $500 for 20 minutes work? And I was still in high school.
I think of myself as a high-class working girl. The press calls me a socialite, which is just the name for a well-dressed fundraiser. Fundraising is like candy. You get to talk to fascinating people and promote causes which you love. What could be more delicious than that? I began in the 90s. I gave a party in Washington, D.C. for the Nicaraguan refugee children. Not the Contras, though I'm sure that would have been fun too. Fundraising is work. It's hard to separate people from their money. It takes finesse to approach a potential donor. I make it a point to never bring up money when I first meet someone. I mean, it's not like it's a secret. They know why I'm there. Sometimes I like to see how long it can take before I ask for a little gift. Call me a tease.
It's a marketplace transaction. Somehow I managed to absorb that when I was quite young. I was a precocious child. Actually, I was sort of lonely. I didn't experience myself as being attractive. I mean, I didn't look like a Calvin Klein ad, but I was bright, and I didn't play by the rules. Men were mostly scared of me. They didn't want to get involved emotionally. They did want to fuck. For a while, I was willing to accept that. I was feeling intimacy. Feeling more. Feeling.
The other day, I was riding around New York in a limousine during a hotel strike, and there was nowhere to go. And I thought to myself, now I know what it feels like to be a bag lady. You can't just go around and pick up every homeless person you see and bring them home. But you can help by saying something entertaining to them to bring a light in their eyes. Maybe that's why it's called social light.
You become your job. I've become a hustler. Even when I'm not hustling, I'm a hustler. What you do is what you are. I don't think it's so terribly different from someone who works on an assembly line 40 hours a week and comes home, cut off. No. People aren't built to switch on and off like water faucets.
I work in a suitcase factory. Make suitcases. The tank I work at is 6 foot deep and 8 foot square. In 40 seconds. Take the wet belt out of the towel. Put the blanket on to draw out the excess moisture. Wait 2-3 seconds. Take the blanket off. Pick the wet belt up and balance it on your shoulder. Reach over, get the hose, drill it inside of this cover string. Turn around, walk to the hot, dry dye behind you. our workstation ranges anywhere from 100 to 150 degrees. I've taken thermometers and checked it out. I have dryness in the joints of my fingers. Naturally, my shoulder balancing this at peace. The whole sneak will sometimes break ankle. Hydraulic press leak, so you're slipping on oil. Have the possibility of being burned every time the hot line hits that red belt. Something young in the cloud of steam. Every 40 seconds. 10 to 24 hours a day. I work 8 straight hours with 2 10-minute breaks and 1 50-minute break for lunch. I find it difficult in my lunch and then I go time. 40 seconds.
And there was a sailor, and we blew it off the water. Father was a farmer, and I his only daughter. I took up with a no-good working man from Massachusetts. Died from too much whiskey, and lived with these 3 faces. Goddamn awful boring job, and I'm looking for a daydream to take me through the morning, to put me in my coffee break so I can have my sandwich and remember it's me and my machine for the rest of the mornings, for the rest of the afternoon, of my life.
They can't keep men on the tanks. They say it's too monotonous. I think women adjust the monotony better than men do because women are used to thinking 2 things at once, where a man can only think of 1 thing at a time. Woman can listen to a child while she's doing something else. It's the same way on the tanks. You get to be automatic in what you're doing, but your mind is somewhere else.
And my begins to wonder, my days back on the farm, and I can see my father smiling at me, swinging on his arm, and I can hear my granddad's stories, the storms out on Lake Erie, swords and cargo, fortunes and sailors' lives were lost. My life has been wasted. I have been a fool to let this manufacturer use my body for a tool. I get to ride home in the evenings, staring at my hands, swearing by my sorrow that a young girl ought to stand a better chance. Stand a chance. I work this mill just as long as I am able. And never meet the man whose name is on the label. Push me in my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon gone, and the rest of my life.
You wish you didn't have to work in a factory. But when it's all you know how to do, that's what you do.
Take the wet felt on the felter.
In organizer as someone who's been seeing new members, you try to build an organization that will give people the power to make the changes. I put together a fairly solid organization of rural people in Pike County to stop Bethlehem Steel from strip mining. I had to tell people again and again that if the staff to do the job, that it's possible to win. You see, people in their guts don't really believe it. Nobody believed that we could stop Bethlehem Steel. But see, all that the people really wanted was just a park, a place for their kids. And Bethlehem said, go to hell. I'm not going to give you a damn thing. So I got 20, 30 people I saw as leaders, and I said, let's get that park. They said, we can't. I said, yes, we can. So we got enough people, we wrote letters, we protested, and finally got a TV. And Bethlehem came. A couple of months later, 4,000 people drove up to see bulldozers going down the land to make that park. You see, people become convinced that there's not a damn thing they can do. I think we have it inside us to change things. I mean, all human recorded history is about what? 5,000 years old? How many people in the lifetime made a significant difference? 20? 30? You see, the problem with history is that it's written by college professors about big men. But that's not what history is. History is about little people, men and women, just like you and me, coming together and deciding that they want a better life.
If I could have been what I could have been, I could have been something.
I wanted to be a writer.
Major League Baseball player, all on a little farm.
If what I could be had been left to me, I would have been something. But then I got married. Then the kids came along.
And then my dad took sick.
A tower of strength, a center of power. At $10 an hour.
It's always a stumbling block. I was going to work a few years, buy me a car, head west. Then I met the wife, and that kind of changed my plans. You wouldn't know what you would have did.
If I could have done what I could have done, I could have done big things. Some like to do what I wanted to, I would have done big things. Swam a few rivers, climb a few hills, paint all
could have been someone. It's a good day, ladies, so. And usually you get interested in what they're doing, so you're fighting the crowd the other way around. You're not looking for quitting time, you're just hoping to get enough done and it's already quitting time. You know, there's not a house in this country that I haven't built that I don't look at every time I go by. If one stone is crooked, I notice it. The people in there might not notice it, but I notice it. Stone's my business. Stone's my life. Stone.
He builds a house with his hands. 30 years go by, it stands. It stands where nothing stood. A house of stones. The mason sleeps real good. He does his work day flies. Quitting time's a big surprise, and there is one more stone to get just right. There's always one more stone for the night. Every house he builds, every stone he lays, it's not just making money and counting off the days.
I dream about stone all the time. Someday I'm gonna build me a stone cabin down by the Green River. I'm gonna have everything stone. Stone cabinets in the kitchen, a stone front door, which is gonna be heavy, but I don't care. Seems like all my dreams have a piece of rock in them.
He builds a house with his hands. 100 years go by, it stands. It tells you who he was. A life goes fast, and the work of Mason does. It's made to last, the work of Mason does.
Nothing on this earth lasts forever. But with stone, you're getting real close.
It's made to last.
I can't relax. Because when you ask me what does a press agent do, you force me to look back and see what a forgotten life I've had. My hopes, my aspirations, what I did with them, what being a press agent does to you. What have I wound up with? Rooms full of clippings and a case of colitis. But what I think has been my main problem, the inability to say no. The insistence on being part of everything. The fear you're going to miss something. One psychiatrist said to me, "Hey, a guy with one ass can't ride two horses." Being in publicity is a confession of weakness. It's for people who don't have the guts to get attention for themselves. You spend your whole life telling the world how great somebody else is. In this work, you don't build anything. If I had a little mom and pop candy store and I built it up into an even bigger store, I could have sold it for $1 million. Who do I sell my clippings to?
Oh, I want a drink.
Hey, all you have to take a menu.
Oh, yes. You are going to have a wonderful night tonight. Good evening, my lords. What's exciting at the bar that I can offer? It would be very boring if I had to say, would you like a cocktail over and over? So I come at it for my own enjoyment. I say, what's exciting at the bar that I can offer, my lord? Or something. Maybe with cocktails, I give them a little philosophy. If they have coffee, I give them political science. I have an opinion on every single subject there is. My bosses don't like it, so I have to speak sotto voce. But if I get heated, I don't give a damn. I speak like an Italian speaks. I have to be a waitress. How else does the world come to me? Everyone wants to eat. Everyone has hunger. And I serve them. I give service. I can't be servile. There's a difference. I get intoxicated with giving service. It becomes theatrical, and I feel like and it intoxicates me. I'm on stage. The summers don't care when they put down the plate. There's a sound, not with me. When they move a chair, it'll scrape with a grate on the ground. Not with me. I will have my hand right as I place a glass. Notice how I stand right as customers pass. Serve at any task with a gesture so gentle. Or do it again till it's near Oriental. Da, 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 da. It's an art to be a fine waitress, to see that you pleasure each guest. There's a twist to my wrist when I bring your steak in, and watch how I take in your liver and bacon. It all will be stylish and smart. That's what makes it an art. I remember one day, as I do now and then, I had shakes. Down I went. There with my tray full of coffees and cordials and cakes. Down I went. But I kept my voice, not one guest heard me fall. Never made a noise, not one noise, food and all. If you're out to crawl, you give them what they like. You carry your tray like it's almost ballet like la da 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 da. It's an art to be a fine waitress. Each evening I treasure the test. Like tonight was a fight, 'cause they had this busboy, this cruise on the busboy, and guess from busboy did we have a good heart to heart? Even that is an art. Tips are important to people like captains and barmen. For them, it's a tipsy. For me, I'm a gypsy. Just cost me a coin, and I suddenly feel like I'm Carmen. Woo! I took a trip to Hawaii for 2 weeks. Went with my lover. My eldest daughter says, "Act your age." I said, "Honey, if I were going to act my age, I wouldn't even be walking. Not after 16 years on this job."
I worked then for 16 years. And overnight, they let half of us go. It's now known as Black Thursday. They just told us to clear our desk and leave. No goodbyes. One guy just broke down and started crying. How can you do this to me? I worked so hard for this company, and my daughter's getting married next month. How am I going to face people? All of a sudden, nobody calls. You try to visit your friends, but they have their own lives. They don't have time for you. This is such a psychological... I don't want to get into this.
It was a year ago November, and I'm still looking. But you just have to fight your own way. That's what I've been doing my whole life.
Don't get me wrong. In this economy, I'm lucky to have any work at all. It's just, after all these years, I just wish I knew how it felt to not have to go to work.
When I retired, the first 2 years I was downhearted. I had no place to go, nothing to do. But then I gave myself a good going over. Joe, I said, you can't sit at home and waste your time. You gotta get out and do things. Well, the day goes pretty fast for me now. I don't daydream at all. I just think of something and I forget. That daydreaming don't do you no good. You gotta keep busy, keep moving. That's the trick. You wake at 10, fold up the bed. Don't leave your couch open all day. You know it's depressing. You cook an egg. You toast some bread. You cook for yourself. You save a butter. If you don't keep track of your money, who will? You think about the day ahead. You don't go feeling sorry for yourself. It's like I said, you can stay at home and be mad at the world. You can get out and do things. You take a walk. You meet a chum. This one guy lives over by National Biscuit. Boy, you should see the nice aroma. You shoot the bull. You argue some, maybe cause of a couple of fellas to come over and play some poker. You lose a gin until they come. This guy remembers what card you picked up. The dirty mom, but getting me the gin beats doing nothing. You take a bus, you take a train, you go visit your wife's grave, and on the way you read the Reader's Digest. It does you good to use your brain. Maybe you go out and see your cousin and bring a six-pack along. You take a stroll down memory lane. When we were young, we were always together. And raising Cain, we go back a long ways to that. All the times we had. I remember once, back in '62, we were at this fair with these girls we knew. On this crazy ride, where you scream or you pray, the big dipper they call it. We could hardly walk as we left the car, so we staggered down for a candy bar. Then we sat and laughed at the penny arcade. Oh! At 6 o'clock, you watch the news. Damn politicians get you so mad you throw your slippers at the set. You cook some franks. No big to-dos, most naturally around. You straighten up, maybe you call your daughter. You watch a game, you take a snooze, but then it's Sunday. Sunday's different. You change your shirt, you shine your shoes, cause you go around the block to the tavern. You shoot some pool, you drink some beer. You don't have to drink a lot to have a good time, maybe 3 or 4 in the evening. You fight the hell, you bend this year, you meet a lot of the old crowd down Sundays, and sometimes a bunch of you sing the part of the song you never hear like stars on the moon. And then you cheer. Last Sunday night we sang till we meet again. Believe it or not, I wasn't a waltz in a tune, honest to God. It was at a dance, I was 17, and this girl was like from a magazine, and the lights were low, and I really meant low. I think a couple of my friends had something to do with that. And I kissed her cheek as we walked away. I remember then like it was yesterday. Boy, was she surprised I could hear her say, they drive you home from round the block. You take your cash out of your sock. You fix the bed, you check the lock. You wind the clock. When I retired, a lot of people told me, Joe, you still got your health, you shouldn't have done it. But it was too late. I don't know why I retired. It's just a habit, I guess. But I got no regrets. I go to fires every once in a while. You know that fire we had down on Milwaukee Avenue 3 months ago? I was there. Boy, there was some fire.
I've always wanted to be a fireman. I mean, lots of guys want to be firemen, you know? Everyone's a kid. Like, a guy's 40 years old, he's still a kid. He's just using his head, not screwing around so much. You know, I used to be a cop. You know why I changed to fireman? I like people. And when you're a cop, you can feel the hate coming into you. Oh, I remember this one time I was on the roof of this project, and at the corner of this staircase, there was this big guy, this big giant guy, and his back was facing towards me. And so I said to the guy, hey fella, turn around. And he said, hang on a minute. And so I said to him again, hey fella, turn around. And he said, hang on a minute. And his arms were doing this weird thing, they were moving around his trousers. I thought he had a gun in his pants. So I whipped up my own gun, I pointed it at him, and I said, hey fucker, if you don't turn around, I'll shoot. He had his fly down, and his dick was out because he was getting a hand job from this girl in the corner which I could not see. And in the end, she was shaking, I was shaking, the guy was shaking, the gun in my hand was shaking. So I just said, you know what, fucker, get the fuck out of here. I mean, lots of guys would have killed him for that. So I took the test in 98, the fire department test, and I got it in 99. You know, the whole world's so fucked up, the country's fucked up, but firemen, you see them produce. You see them putting fires out of buildings, you see them going in, bringing out babies, giving CPR to someone who's dying. I mean, that shit is real. I worked in a bank once. It was just paper, numbers, money, that shit ain't real. But firemen, I mean, I can look back on life and I can say, hey, I helped make someone old, I helped save somebody, I helped somebody be born. I can say that I did something on this earth.
We had a very good day today. We went down to the sea and sat just a mile away. Some days he only wants to stay at home, but on Tuesdays they play music and they dance. You should have seen him dance. They were playing Spanish music. His hair, he likes to make the nurse smile. Some days he can't remember who I am. much you got done every day. We had a very good day today. We went down to the sea and said just a mile away. One day my dreams are gonna all come true. For now I do what no one wants to do. For now I do what no one wants to do.
You know what I always wanted to do? I wanted to play the piano. That's what I really wanted. And I'd write songs and things about life growing up in the South, about my mama and grandmama. Now, I got my own beautiful daughter, and I got plans for her. So, every morning I leave the house to go scrub rooms up at the Marriott. And at night, I come here, and it's scrubbing again. For generations, all we done, scrubbing. My grandma, my mama, and me. And my daughter, she ain't gonna do none of that domestic work. I ain't to be the end of that, but take it line. Mama worked just like a mama before her. Domestic work was the trade. There was laundress, cook, and the living hell. There's a girl, babysitter, and a hotel maid. 6 days a week, all day long, and never could get out there. Those were the days when the minimum wage was anything you can get. They was cleaning with men without faces. They was coming and going on a Thursday basis. Talking to somebody who knows. Somebody who knows. And after so many years, Lord, I don't wanna be sick and no Lord, you rule. I don't wanna pick up now in the room. One of these days, honestly, to me. All day long I think, kids out in the streets somewhere. Coats up in the rooms, don't think they're thinking out of time. Always talking around you, you ain't even there. All day, standing true to my oh Lord, got it done with a head on shoulders, pretty as a picture too. No, she ain't gonna hide that pretty face, behind closed doors. What I'm gonna do? Hit my legs, tell me that. Put back hold up, I'm gonna make a better day. Oh, one of these days. You'll never see her getting down on her knees unless she's down there to play. No more cleaning with men without faces. Oh no, she's gonna walk in on this last name basis. She be the person in this family. You can see it, Lord. She ain't gonna be sick and no laundry room. Oh no, she'll be pushing her own room. Someday, as long as she can get us singing her own tune. For me that day, for me that day, can't come too soon. Can't come too soon, too soon. That day can't come too soon, too soon. That day can't come too soon. I come from 4 generations of cleaning women. My daughter, she's a whole new y'all got coming on up today? A whole new generation.
I'm 19 years old. I ran this mutual fund for the students at my school. My father runs his own investment firm. I guess that's where I learned. He runs a hedge fund. You know, one of those guys that's always caught defrauding their investors. We study ethics at school, so I'm sure I won't have any problem. I'm going to business school, Kellogg naturally. What I'd really like to be is a professional golfer. But realistically, I'll probably be an entrepreneur. Then I'll start a family, of course. My quote, dream goal, unquote. She has long brunette hair. She doesn't have to wear a lot of makeup because she's going to be naturally pretty. I want her to have a lot of personality because when I'm 30 and I'm moving up the ladder, there's going to have to be a lot more than looks. At first, she'll probably be working. But after our first child, she'll stay at home, and she'll be a good mother. I hope to have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. I would like a colonial house, possibly one that leans towards the Mediterranean style. And maybe you could even be backing around the golf course, so my wife and I can play golf whenever we want. I hope my wife can play golf.
My name is Charlie Blossom. I'll be 20 in 3 weeks. So I got recommended for this job on a newsroom in a Chicago paper. Went down to talk to the editor. Told him how much I wanted to be a journalist. He liked me. Coming to work for me was sort of a missionary kind of thing. I was bringing organic walnuts and organic raisins and just giving them away to everybody. You see, at this stage of the game, I was in sort of a spiritualistic mood. I liked my job because I was answering phones most of the time. People would call up and have a problem, and I'd say, this is a capitalist newspaper, and as long as it's a capitalist newspaper, it's not going to serve you because its purpose is to make money for its owner. And I'd tell them to call up the editor or come down and take over the paper. A lot of people responded really well to these suggestions. But the editor, he calls me into his office and he's like, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to take a baseball bat and smash his head in. I mean, he's a really nice guy. I like him a lot. I've been thinking for months, what will I do when I get fired? I had to do something to show these people, hey, I'm better than you motherfuckers. I'm getting fired because I'm different. I had to think fast, so I just looked straight at the editor and I said, I hope you can live with the conditions you're creating. And I turned out and stormed out and started to cry. And the editor, he hurries after me and he's like, I'm not creating these conditions, you are. And I looked at him and I said, no, I'm not the one with the power, you're the one who has the power. Now I've got myself in unemployment. They were nice to me the first few times until this woman told me to get a number. I wanted to say to her, fuck you, I can wait outside your apartment, smash you over the head and steal your money. But that's bitterness. I don't like being bitter. I'm a pacifist.
I heard a lot of songs, say where you're going, my son. Now I know they're the truth. Boy, you never stop to think how fast the years run. Now they've taken you. I remember you was 3.5. Mom and me, we sit there after things got quieter. We left that song you summer nights, baseball games beneath the lights, and sleeping in the car. A day and his kid. He was my hero then. He couldn't do no wrong as far as I was concerned. I thought he was the wisest and the strongest and the best of men. The tables hadn't turned. I hadn't learned how little time it takes. And everybody breaks. Daddies make mistakes. This may sound smart, but my kid is my imprint, you know what I mean? This is why I work. Every time I look at a guy dressing real sharp, I'm thinking about my kid. You know what I want? I want my kid to look at me and say that he's not going to be like me. I want him to say to me, Dad, you're a real nice guy, but you're a fucking dummy. Oh yeah. Look, if you can't improve yourself, you improve your posterity. Otherwise, life's not worth living. You might as well just go back to the fucking cave and stay there. You know, I believe the first caveman who went out of his cave to see what was on the other side, he didn't go there out of curiosity. He went there because he wanted to get his son out of the cave. I heard a lot of songs say where you're going, my son. Now I know that boy, you never stop to think how fast things run, or the things they steal. Now it seems I always knew why I do the things I do and the things I never did. Why I work my whole damn life so as I could give a better life than the one my dad could give me. I give it all to my kid.
Let's say Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, that beautiful work of art.
What if he had to create the Sistine Chapel 1,000 times a year? Wouldn't that dull even Michelangelo's mind?
See, it's not just about the book. Somebody built pyramids.
Pyramids. The Sears Tower. These things don't just happen.
I don't care how little work you did. You drive down a road and you say, I worked on this road.
If there's a bridge, you say, I worked on this bridge.
And if a carpenter builds a cabin for poets, then poets know them a little plaque, 3 or 4 lines on the wall.
Though we may work our minds, this place we can relax is built by people who work their heads.
Picasso can point to a painting, but Isaac can point to a book.
What can I point to?
Everyone should have something to point to.
You know what I want? I want to see a building, say the Sears Tower, and I want to see a giant signboard a foot wide, from top to bottom, with all the names of everyone who's worked in or on that building. So when a guy takes his son by it, he can point it, and he can say,
See that building, I ran the crane that lifted
catch my breath.
See that building.
I'm the stock, I work as a guard.
I clean the floors and I clean them good. People don't know my job is hard.
See that building.
5 days a week I work at a desk.
I do the books.
I handle the bill.
Man at the door, I punch my card.
See that window.
Outside the left.
Shine from the top.
See that window.
Count from the left. 1, 2, 3, stop!
That's where I work. Everyone should have something to point to, something to be proud of.
Look what I did.
See what I've done.
I did the job. I was the one. Everyone should have something to point to, something to be tall in the crowd. See that building day after day after day after day. That's where I put myself on the line. That's where I sweat to earn my pay. See that building.
That's where I put the food on our plates. That's where I live a piece of my life.
Where I can bring my kids and say, see that building. The love decisions are made. See that building. The windows are on. The circles are rigged. The bells are tied. The concrete walls are kept. The office is run. The coffee is sold. The digging was done. The building was built for all eyes to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the cast of Working! Thank you all so much for coming down, and thank you so much for being in the audience of the first ever Showstoppers full-length musical. Yay! Very first of all, I am extremely proud of the 9 people behind me. In 12 weeks, we put on an hour-and-a-half show, telling, and I think the reason we chose this story is because it's the stories of everyday people, and I think the year we've all had, it's really important to celebrate the everyday and just the little things each of us do, and these little stories that just everyday people do. So it's a really important story to be sharing, and thank you for being with us to share it. And I'm very proud of everyone. We've got 2 more shows this afternoon, so we've got a 4-show day. I'm working hard. But thank you all so much, and thank you for supporting us. Sing Theatre is a charity, and we are very grateful that you've all come down. We have not charged for tickets this year because we've got so little space, but if you can think about giving us a donation to help us bring music to the hospitals, we would really appreciate it. That ticket money instead will go to a very good cause, bringing music to the hospitals, which we are doing through Zoom right now. So please do consider that on your way out. But in the meantime, I think the last word has to go to the amazing cast. So can we give them one more round of applause? If you want to take your cameras out, you may take a photo. Just don't post on social media for now. You can send it to them and they can post it. Okay. Can we go to all like socially distanced places on the last song?
Oh my god.
Yay!
Smile. This happened with the AMTC. You won't know what to do. Awesome. Now, as we are still in these crazy times, unfortunately, unfortunately we won't be able to mingle after the show because we're seeing more than one group of 8 today, 2 groups of 8 today. So you can wave goodbye to them, but we're not allowed to talk, unfortunately. And if you can exit as quickly as possible, and hope to see you all at Sing Theatre very soon. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
I smell so
I
smell awful. Oh my god.